This is DRA 814 Online, Data Analysis and Presentation Capabilities and Regulatory Affairs for the Fall 2015 term. And I'm George Gay. I'll be working with you over this term to complete this course. This course is for students to engage in research pertinent to professional interests. Students will practice these research skills and demonstrate the process of scientific writing by preparing a manuscript suitable for submission to a peer-reviewed journal. By the end of the course, students will create an abstract, an academic paper, and a poster. Students will present their posters to the MCPHS community. The course objectives and goals will involve a number of particular hopes, where students will need to identify a topic for research and analysis, prepare an abstract for their article, conduct research, including but not limited to databases and data sets, prepare a research article, an academic paper suitable for publication in a peer-reviewed journal. They'll use the RefWorks or similar electronic citation software. They'll need to create online slideshows for an academic paper that they have discovered, as well as for their academic paper and for their abstract and the poster. They'll complete a poster. During the course, they will engage in online discourse with classmates regarding the type of content that people present. They will critique the work of classmates and will explore how to engage in a meta-analysis. Course content takes a variety of forms. It'll involve looking at assigned articles, there will be lectures, and slideshow presentations. The nature of the content provided each week will be listed according to the content available in the syllabus. Content will be available for review at the beginning of each academic week on the Blackboard site. Some of the lecture and documentary content will include lectures and articles from Dr. McCary, who taught this course before and whose course contents will be available. The content of Dr. McCary is based on that earlier class, and so the comments about forthcoming lectures where those lectures have been already discussed in our course. I'll provide the remainder of course content. Course requirements. Students need to engage in a number of activities, the first of which will be an article presentation. So what students will need to do is use the available databases after having seen presentations on how to use those databases. The presentation will run a minimum of 5 minutes and a maximum of 10 minutes. To prepare such a presentation, students will need to prepare slides. They will also need to use the iScript software so as to provide the narration and to make the slides work, so to speak. You'll need to contact the tech department to get a copy of iScript loaded on your machines. Assessment of these types of presentations will depend on things such as the style or clarity and contents, as well as relate to the ability of classmates to be offering critiques to their colleagues. At a minimum, this presentation needs to include the article's title, those authors, and include the appropriate APA citation. This will constitute 8% of the entire class grade. For this particular week, students will need to provide a critique on the discussion board of another student's presentation. This critique needs to be at least 300 words long and needs to be posted by Saturday. Students will then need to provide 2 additional critiques or comments, 100-word minimum, on what others have presented or in response to comments from colleagues. This will constitute 3% of the grade. For most of the significant activities in this course, This kind of critiquing process will be typical, but I will mention them with each step in which students are preparing content. Students will need to prepare an abstract, which will be used for their academic paper. The writing of the academic paper will involve creating a document between 3,500 and 4,000 words, about 12 pages. Students will need to provide it with references so that it would be suitable for publication. The students will be evaluated on the nature of the research topic, the quality of the data that the student has gathered, things like the adequacy of the sample size, the use of the appropriate statistical model to assess the data, and the ability to present and discuss findings in a logical brief format consistent with the standard format of an article, something that we'll be talking about as the term progresses. The draft of this academic paper will constitute 4% of the course grade. Students will then get feedback so as to be able to edit and improve that particular paper. The final academic paper will constitute 40% of the student's grade, so it is the most significant activity in terms of the acquisition of points that will make up students' final grade. As with the prior written article, the abstract, and the presentation, students will need to provide a critique of presentations. This will mean that students need to prepare a 500-word minimum critique of another student's final version of an academic paper. This needs to be done by Saturday at midnight. By Tuesday midnight, students need to provide at least additional comments, each of which will run a minimum of 250 words, responding to comments or participating in discussions that others have regarding the articles that they prepared. Unlike what it says here, this will constitute 8% of the student's total grade. The next activity students will have to conduct is to prepare a poster about their research and final academic paper. They need to summarize their research findings. Criteria for evaluation will focus on like style, logical flow. And this constitutes 10% of the student's final grade. Students will make a 2 to 3 video presentation about their poster. This will involve using the iScript software. So of course at the core of this presentation, students will need to prepare a slideshow presentation about facets of their particular poster. Among the students in this course will include making posts to the discussion boards. At a minimum, these posts relate to critiques of the work of a classmate, and then students will need to make 2 more comments by Thursday night. I've laid out for you the particular weeks and the requirements of the commentary that you have to provide. So for week 3, you need to provide a 300-word minimum length comment on the article presentation of a classmate by Saturday midnight. Then you'll need to make 2 100-word comments regarding what other classmates have said by midnight Tuesday. This constitutes 3% of the course grade. This is also the case for week 5, where students will provide their own critiques of the abstract by classmate and further comments in response to comments of colleagues or to a critique. Students will need to do this for week 8 as well for the first draft of the academic paper of a colleague. They will need to do it for week 11 regarding the poster submission made by a colleague, and for week 13 they'll need to go through that same process regarding the presentation that a colleague has made regarding each person's poster. Remember that with week 10 things are a little different because this is going to be the critique of the final version of the academic paper students will need to provide. So by Saturday, students need to provide a 500-word critique regarding the academic paper of another colleague. By Tuesday midnight, students need to post 2 comments, comments of others or response to a critique. Note that in weeks where there's not a formal presentation, I'll make available a discussion board for students to engage in informal dialogue regarding the different things involved in the course, so the experiences that students are having in going through the various steps, or offering some insights regarding the activities for the particular course, or engaging me in questions and answers regarding the processes of the particular course, or even details regarding the syllabus. What you see here is a breakdown of the particular activities that will generate your final grade for the course. This is fairly obvious in terms of the distribution of points. You can see that they add up to 100. You'll also see a distribution here about what kind of a grade people will earn in the course based on their respective grades. I include as course notes reference to the academic policies contained in the MCPHS catalog relating to a number of kinds of services and activities relating to the course, such as providing disabilities consistent with the law. The syllabus may very well change over the span of the course. If a change occurs, it will not take effect until a week after the announcement. So people will have at least one weekend in which they'll be able to review this change and accordingly adjust their schedule. What I'll present here is a breakdown of the various activities that will take place over the succeeding weeks. You can check these out on the syllabus as well. You'll note that for the first week, besides going through the presentation for the syllabus, you'll have an opportunity for a short slideshow that will help you to use iScript. You will also see presentations regarding the use of databases that you can employ to find the articles that you'll need to make presentations on. In particular, you're going to look at the primary databases that relate to medical issues, PubMed and Medline. For week 2, you'll have a presentation regarding the preparation of an oral presentation. Also, presentations from Dr. Macari about the kinds of reviews that you want to do, and broaching of the sub-meta-analysis, which, to put it succinctly, involves looking at the studies of others and to be able to gain or generate insight. Week 3, you need to prepare your article presentation. You'll also see a number of articles here and the URLs that you'll need to use to be able to regarding the selection of a research topic. There will be discussion board activity regarding the article presentations that you'll end up making this week. Understand that this particular article may make reference to doctoral students, but you'll still end up finding that there are some useful insights for you in the process of selecting your particular topic. 4, you'll end up needing to submit your topic. What you'll get is then a series of articles relating to the preparation of an abstract for a research article. Will be given the URLs that you need to use to be able to find these particular documents. In week 5, you'll need to submit your abstract of your academic paper. You'll see presentations and articles regarding the preparation of such academic papers. You'll also see presentations and articles regarding the kind of statistical measures that you can end up using. There's presentations regarding inferential statistics, an article on SPSS, which is a piece of software that people have been using to engage in statistical analysis. As usual, there'll be discussion board critique of the particular abstract this week that people present in class, with the 300 words critique being done by Saturday midnight, and 2 subsequent comments, each 100 words in length, by the succeeding Tuesday. For week 6, students have the option of submitting an outline for the academic paper. This is optional. There are no points assigned with, but this may be constructive as much for the student to be able to organize his or her thoughts as it is for others to gain some insight on this writing process. For subsequent weeks, there will be opportunities for informal critique. By week 8, you'll need to submit the first draft of an academic paper. Here again, students need to engage in critique of what a colleague has presented, of that first draft of an academic paper, the critique needing to be made by Saturday night, and the 2 subsequent comments having to be done by Tuesday midnight. Week 9 will be another week for informal discussion board activity. For week 10, students will need to submit a final draft of an academic paper. As has been the case with prior weeks, this will trigger discussion board activity. In this case, though, students will need to provide a 500-word critique of a colleague's final draft of an academic paper. Students will need to provide comments of a minimum of 250 words in length by Tuesday night. Note, too, that there's a presentation by Dr. Macari regarding the preparation of the poster. Dr. Macari makes reference to judges, but we will not have judges for this particular course. For week 11, students will need to provide their poster, and as is the case with prior weeks, provide a critique by Saturday night, and 2 comments by Tuesday evening. The critiques, 300 words in length. The comments are each 100 words in length. Week 12 is another week where there is no formal presentations, but students may informally engage in discussion board activity. Week 13 involves the submission of the presentation of an individual's poster, and the final round of discussion board activity with a critique being Saturday night of a minimum of 300 words in length, and 2 comments by Tuesday night, each a minimum of 100 words in length. Week 14 is noted here, but there's really no activity for that particular week because the term ends on December 4th. And that should give you a good overview of the kinds of activities that the syllabus discusses for this particular course. Again, if you have questions, you can contact me, or you can review this presentation at your leisure to try to clarify the questions that you have.